This morning I was doing a little bit of scrolling. I came across this post on Reddit that linked to this article that said Until Dawn's PS5 debut is 28% weaker than Sony's 2024 disaster Concord, which then had me thinking immediately, like, there's no absolute way that a game is come out and doing worse than Concord, because if I remember correctly, Until Dawn was a pretty good game. Like, this is the remake, but it also made me think that's strange because I don't think that game's that old either. So Crap was doing a little bit of digging for me as well because I was already live. It found this comparison trailer, which we'll watch here in a minute. But there was some interesting stuff in this article that said Until Dawn's debut is about 28.6% smaller than Concord's, and PlayStation Studios' horror game saw 98.5% fewer players than The Last of Us Part 2 Remastered. But that's not even all that this actually showed. It's actually the #1 PlayStation 5 game of 2024 so far is The Last of Us Part 2, according to this. Now, I gotta look more into that, see if that's actually true, because it's ahead of Elden Ring, Black Myth Wukong, Astrobot. That's crazy. And this just continues a series of really terrible showings from PlayStation the last few months. From the Helldivers 2 nonsense and bullshit that went on with that, to Concord, to now Until Dawn, and people are more excited for a remake of The Last of Us, and it's like, is The Last of Us 2 even that old at this point? It actually came out in 2015, so it's only been 9 years. And so Crap linked me this trailer. We're gonna watch it here, which is an official comparison trailer for the two games. And apparently it isn't too appealing for PC players, as Until Dawn has debuted a peak concurrent player count of just 2,607 players on Steam. 2,600 players. Peak, not average. Peak. To give you more comparison, Ghost of Tsushima reached 77,000 concurrent players, and God of War reached 73,000 players, with Spider-Man reaching 66,000 players all on Steam. Obviously, there's more than just Steam numbers you have to take into account, PlayStation numbers, but let's take a look at this trailer, this comparison trailer. Until Dawn comparison trailer, yep.
There are a few things I need to make sure you...
The only major differences to me are the hair and the lighting. Am I also crazy for thinking the original looks better? Like, I think the style of the original is better. You ever look at someone's face really up close and you can like see all the pores, you know? And it's like, it just feels like you just see all the pores on her face instead of just like, I don't know. I feel like I wouldn't see that in the dark though. Again, this just looks more like lighting and hair more than anything. We'll keep watching.
Did you see this view?
Okay, that one I think looks pretty different. This one right here, but also again, it's lighting. Wait a minute, hang on, I like the left better again. It's a different tone. Yeah, you're right, it's a completely different tone. Until Dawn versus Already Dawn. yeah. It's already daytime versus nighttime.
Did you see this view? I mean,
wait, there's literally a sun.
This is beyond our control. You have to accept this.
Wait, hang on. What was that?
The past
original
is beyond our control.
Wait, so it just blurs out the face in the background and just focuses on the hands. Wait, I like the first one more too. Wait, the first one just hits harder. Like like the lighting is a little bit worse, I think, on this one again. And like the graphics around the fingers is definitely worse, but I like the tone of the first one more. This one definitely looks more horror film-esque, I would say though. But I feel like they kind of cop out by blurring the back.
This in order to move forward.
One more time on the snipers.
Move forward.
Okay, I like the remastered sniper version. That one.
Accept this in order.
That one. Yeah, that one looks way better. You gotta give him that.
Who are we speaking to?
It's lighting.
Hannah?
It's like 90% lighting. I feel like the original looks better here.
You see, no one can change.
I feel like the first one just has a way different tone. It just feels like more scary, more spooky. Like it's. Maybe part of it's just because it's darker, maybe, but...
What happened last year?
Just
because he's class prez doesn't mean he belongs to everyone. Mike is my man.
Hey,
Okay, the second one I think looks better, but it doesn't look as spooky.
there's freedom in this revelation. Everything you do, every decision you make from now on will open doors to the future.
Damn.
Jessica!
It just feels so different. They're changing a lot of the shot compositions. I know, for sure they are, but it just sets a different tone almost.
What is that?
So yeah, they're charging full price. So it's fully $60, and the small player base is reporting a myriad of issues too. And that happens, by the way, for almost every PlayStation game that goes to PC. In the beginning, there's always a ton of issues. Until Dawn currently has mixed user review rating on Steam, with just 69% nice of reviews being positive. The review deemed most helpful recommended the game, but complains the required PlayStation Network account. Oh my God, they still do this? Dude, I don't know what it is with Sony. Okay, I know what it is with Sony. They want the data, because data is very valuable, and selling that data is super valuable, but you have to make a Sony PlayStation account to play on Steam anyways. Poor optimization, music changes from the original bugs, and poor controls at times. Yeah, I can imagine the poor controls part, especially when you remaster old games, especially if you try to keep the gameplay loops similar. Sometimes it can be a little bit clunky. I haven't played Until Dawn, so I'm not honestly sure. I can't speak from experience there, but my experience playing other games. But yeah, the Sony network thing too. PlayStation's been taking L after L after L recently, I feel. Other reviews also comment on ray tracing and DLSS not working alongside graphical issues, which destroyed immersion. Yeah, so that's kind of my thing with a lot of this trailer. You know, like I saw some people saying they kind of liked some of the newer graphic design stuff. I think this shot right here is a great example of what I think ruins the immersion. They change obviously the composition of the screen, because like this one you see the dude in the scary ass mask dragging her. This one focuses more on her. The lighting is very different. And then when it skips to this version, you can't tell me this one doesn't look more spooky. It's a dark ass hallway where you can already kind of see them. You can see just like the specks, you know what I mean? There's just a lot of shit going on there. As opposed to this one, it's like the moon is fully out. It's like a full moon, and you can kind of see a little bit. But yeah, they also change like the way the scenes are apparently, because like these are just straight up two different scenes, the one on the left and the one on the right here.
Prez doesn't mean he belongs to everyone. Mike is my man.
Hey,
Those are two completely different scenes. And so this might be a case of, and again, I haven't personally played Until Dawn, but what it seems to be is a case of when it wasn't broke, don't fix it. And so it looks like they've changed a lot of shots and changed music and changed a lot of other things, and they changed the tone of the game for people. It's not going to be as enjoyable. And there's times when you should change stuff in a remaster. Good example, we were talking about it before I actually looked at this, was with Pokemon. I thought Pokemon Oras was a great remake of Sapphire and Ruby. But the Shining Pearl and Shining Diamond, or whatever the fuck it was, the Shining Pearl or Glistening Diamond, I forget what it was. You know what I'm talking about. The Diamond Pearl remakes didn't take stuff from Platinum. It was just terrible. Like it was ass. They could have done so much more with the Diamond and Pearl remakes from Pokemon. And that was an example where they could have, Brilliant Diamond, Shining Pearl, Brilliant Diamond. Yeah. They could have done a really good job with that, but they didn't. And if you had already owned the game beforehand, apparently, there is no way to like upgrade the game. You can't just, if you own the game beforehand in your PlayStation store, you can't upgrade for a cheaper price. So that's unfortunate as well. Issues are not exclusive to the PC game. However, the tech experts at Digital Foundry noted that the PS5 version had frame pacing or frame ordering issues. 30 frames per second and 1440p output with significant aliasing on high contrast edges and breaks up with motion on screen. Ballistic Moon has said at least updates are coming, but these may do too little, too late to those who've already spent $59.99 on the remake. No release dates or windows have been shared for these fixes. Yeah, for games like this, like, it's not a live service game. You can't expect players to keep coming back to your game over and over, especially if you fuck up really hard in the beginning. The game needs to be ready to go when it ships, and it clearly wasn't. So I wonder if we'll find out in the coming weeks that this is another classic. We had to push it faster, or we had to do something sooner because Sony/PlayStation made us. Also, at some point, I feel like this got to be talked about. Hello? Last of Us Part 2 Remaster is their #1 game? Is that not like a giant uh-oh that your best game? Just a remaster of a previous game? Hopefully, who am I kidding? I feel like there's been a lot of game studios that have been getting a real big reality check recently. And Sony/PlayStation is getting a big reality check recently.